Coming up on the show today, OECD warns coronavirus escalation could cut global economic growth in half. And Egypt's non-oil business activity expands to 47.1 in February. Plus, Kenya's central bank to buy $100 million each month to boost FX reserves. Hello and welcome to Business Incorporated. I am BC Adebayo. We begin the show with intraday numbers coming from major markets in Africa, which rose sharply today. The JSE in South Africa posted the strongest gains by 4.37%, while Nigeria's index was higher by 1.25%. In Egypt, the EGX 30 added 1.14%. Kenya closed positive on Monday. And major markets in the Middle East were mostly positive at intraday today, with Saudi's index gaining the most by 2.33%. Qatar's index was higher by 0.47%. In the UAE, Abu Dhabi's index added 0.90%, but it was only the market in Dubai that was negative and intraday, and that index was down 0.02%, trading around the flat line, actually. And in Europe, stocks traded higher this morning as investors continue to hope that the global central banks will introduce monetary policy measures to mitigate the economic impact of coronavirus. Let's talk now to Ulrich Barth, who is live at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange for more updates on these and more. Good afternoon, Ulrich. Now, are the European markets monitoring the G7 conference call? What are they hoping to hear?
Well, they're hoping to hear a lot, at best concrete measures that the central banks and the governments with fiscal stimulus are prepared to take. I'm hearing from a lot of economists who are speculating ahead of the news. So far, there's no news yet of the call or the outcome of a call. That probably the measures will not be able to address the effects of corona directly. No central bank instrument can reopen a store, reopen a supply factory, or alleviate the problems connected with a quarantine of population that's infected with corona, nor can fiscal stimulus at the moment do anything to stop corona. But in the aftermath or to calm markets, the instruments can perhaps take hold. Christine Lagarde, the ECB president, the new one, she has already said today here in Frankfurt that the ECB was ready to take appropriate and targeted action commensurate with the issues at hand. That's not revealing a lot, but it's underscoring the preparedness, and we've heard similar comments, for example, from the Bank of England or the Federal Reserve. Now we're waiting for the results. Insiders, I hear, say that each central bank will take measures, and it will be a coordinated action that is at the same time, but that the measures will be different, will not be the same measure across the board, but will be tailor-made to address the issues in their area of responsibility.
Now, are the markets also concerned that China is beginning to turn away foreigners in a bid to avoid another outbreak?
Yeah, I think that's a concern, but it's not anything I don't think that people are blaming China on. Sure, it's the essence of the problem. In order to contain the infection, in order to contain infection coming from outside, but also in order to prevent people visiting from becoming infected, I think it's necessary, and the health officials do think it's necessary to come to action such as this. This is being debated in public policy, for example, here in Germany as well, very hotly. Should one close even kindergartens, for example? Which visitors must one perhaps examine more closely? This is all in keeping with containing the virus, a very important question. The effect is, of course, that people wanting to do business there or coming from there and wanting to do business elsewhere are prevented from doing so, and it adds to the economic problems that are mounting.
But just before you go, Ori, tell us what stocks are investors watching at the moment as the COVID-19 scare continues.
Well, allow me to start with the German market, where I'm standing here in Frankfurt, and there Lufthansa, the airline, it is soaring. It's, of course, one of the hardest hit in the recent days when the market tanked, and now it's rising by almost 10%, making good at least some of the territory that was lost. Across Europe, mining and commodities shares are in great demand. The index that reflects the development in this area is going up by over 3.5%. And if you look at a company, Anglo American, that's going up by 3.8%, and even better in the London market, for example, TUI, the travel company, also heavily hit, that's going up by even more, by 5.5%.
Many thanks, Orich. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.